What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 7 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Kairos Fateweaver Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, 'twas the time of the Mortals of Tzeentch. The Chaos Warriors had their debut. The Norscan army, such as it currently is, as in its current form, had their debut as well, and overall it was pretty fun fighting those battles. We haven't really advanced past the city of Dust here, but are looking to do so shortly, though it does look like our sort of adjacency corruption isn't really working that well. We have a +4 and then +5, +6 going right now, and it is not really doing anything to territories that we're not currently in ourselves. So yeah, it's going to be a tough time dealing with all that vampiric corruption, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, I believe we're in a brand new turn, so we can start from the top, which is going to be Kairos, and I did think about it, and I think maybe we should wipe out the Loish's Indulgence here. The thing is, we might want to trade their territory to the USAC in order to get some benefit from their territories. We might even actually keep some of these mountain territories just because some of them have three trade goods in them. That's a lot of cultist camps that would be fairly beneficial to us. So I just feel like it's probably a good idea to do that. I was wondering whether gems did anything special for us, but it doesn't look like it. Anyway, I will think about it. For now, we're going to head towards Loish's Indulgence and declare war. I guess we'll declare war on them with everybody so that everybody is a little bit friendlier rather than getting money. So, you declare war, join in everybody. Like so. Sorry, Loish's Indulgence, but at the end of the day, the other factions probably would have... What the heck? Whoa. When Kairos was in our own territory, we were making 8,000 something gold, and then as soon as he left it, we lost 2,000 gold per turn? Is it something that the Slaaneshi corruption does? I'm just curious. Seduce units budget plus 80% any army and province. Ooh, that's going to be annoying to deal with. Income from all buildings. So what's the deal? Why is our army suddenly so expensive? I'm not entirely sure. Either way, we can't auto-resolve this. Oh well. We'll have to fight it. Let's get you in to reinforce, and you can't get there. What if you go into... No, you can't get there. Okay, that's going to be unfortunate. What about you? Can you... Maybe... I'd still love for you to leech the XP, so let's see if you can't move there, and I guess you can go in and camp and just get as close as you can. You know what? Maybe it's worth it to suffer a little bit of attrition, because at least then the two will be able to catch up to Kairos before he hits their final territory, and hopefully we can catch Jiao Ming as he either goes there or just here. In general, we want his defeat rate on at least one of the armies. Do wish that the attrition wasn't so much, but it is what it is. Anyway, Kairos, we are going to get you Bewitching Potency. Now, I'm really hopeful that the Executor doesn't screw us over. Essentially, as far as I can tell, Executor/Executioner causes desyncs in battles, but you do have to be close to the enemy, don't you? Like it's a proximity thing, unless I'm mistaken. It's not just everybody dies all over the map if they have this threshold, so I feel that as long as we can keep Kairos away, we should be okay. Now, the question is, can we test it here? Do you have a... you do. You have a devoted... Wait, no. You have a cultist. Okay, so we should at least be able to test it. Let's test it.
The past is set for future forecast. Only the present is unresolved.
Alrighty, here we go. Just gonna be a small fight here, but still, like any fight, should be a pretty fun one. Oh wow, those Hellstriders look tiny compared to those Chaos Knights. Damn, that's a good way to get bonked in the head from way up above. Anyway, looks like the Hellstriders smash into the Chaos Knights, and we'll have a bad day, and we'll try to book it on out of there. We open up our gates of Tzeentch and get a few blue horrors onto the field, distracting the main enemy blob and allowing both Kairos and the blue scribes to start casting their spells, while our two iridescent horrors support by lobbing the occasional fireball and down at the enemy. And I don't mean the spell, I just mean their missile attacks. Otherwise, the bounce power is already about 90% in our favor. I mean, we gotta get Kairos fighting right now, because who knows if he'll be able to get another fight this particular episode, and he should enjoy himself a little bit. Besides, we really need that XP on all of those Marauders, so we're not gonna kill everybody with spells. We even deployed close to the enemy, and just to allow our Marauders to fight. Gotta get them for a cold Hellbrass. I'm gonna try to get that to happen this episode if we can manage to rack up enough XP. Maybe even raid a little bit more with Kairos to get XP for them as well. Anyway. As in bonus rating XP. Kairos and the Golden Griffin of Theurgy in the midst of the enemies are, well, doing a fairly decent job at fighting them off. Looks like the blue horrors and the Chaos Spawn that were summoned in the midst of the enemy are working together with the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch to prevent any of the others from reaching our main line, leaving just enough of a trickle of a force to fight our Marauders, which is exactly what we want, since they're too fragile, especially as Kairos doesn't buff them in any way, including no red buffs, too fragile to stand against the enemy main line. But it's working well. Looks like the bounce power's at about 95% in our favor. The enemy Cultist of Slaanesh has been nearly defeated by our own Cultist, and that's the one with that permanent little lightning item that's on him. I would like to get a couple more of those. Would be nice. I did manage to make a lightning army at the end of Nakai's campaign. It would be nice if we could make at least something of a lightning-themed army for Kairos as well. But I think that might be the only way that we'd have access to lightning. I suppose we would have the Azir spells on the blue scribe, so occasionally they'd be able to cast Ruinous Thunderbolt, but we'd need other sources. Maybe if we were to take some dragon ogres from, well, maybe if some of the forces of chaos were able to eventually get us the ability to get dragon ogres. I'm not sure that they will. Anyway, and either way, the enemy army is done. The bounce power shifts fully to our favor, and only a couple of spawn remain. Kairos is going to hunt down the last one. Still fighting in melee, just because I was interested in testing out his barrier, and as we can see, despite the fact that Kairos has been fighting this entire time, his barrier is still very much full. I'm really very curious to see whether we can make Kairos and his army invincible with 100% reduction in barrier delay and then a massive increase to barrier replenishment rate, which we need to do via heroes. It does mean that his final army will probably be something like half heroes and half Lords of Change, but since it's going to take a long time to get to both affording Lords of Change and teching to them, he's probably going to go through various iterations or several iterations of his particular army. Anyway, nice little first fight. Lots of work for the Chaos Knights, if nothing else, and we'll see if that gave us enough XP to level up those Marauders. Alright, there we go. Easy little fight. Let's hope that the test is successful and the Executor doesn't interfere too much. And oh yeah, we're up 3,000. Really, Kairos, his army really changes in terms of the expense. That's a really big change. 3,000 gold per turn? What the heck? Okay, well, whatever. Ooh, glittering scales. Nice find, though. At least there's that. Anyway, you two stay here. We'll deal with the last of the Loish's indulgence shortly while we're here, assuming the Jiao Meng doesn't immediately push towards them. I guess we'll have to see, because they have a pretty, but it looks like pretty decent defense at Floating Mountain. Settlement trade. Oh, right, that was last episode / last turn. Veritas Painbringer, and okay, all of you guys. So you need to jump down to the Nurglites. You're going to use a lot of your mana to do so, but you'll also save on a lot of time to do so, so may as well do it rather than going around all the way like this. Like so. And as I expected, they have a bunch of lords here. The garrison isn't anything to write home about, however, and you cannot reach them. Alright, fair enough. Go just to here. Actually, you know what? Go into channeling stance to make sure you have as much mana as possible before you jump down. Alright. All looks good to me, and then we'll go after these guys and then finish up with the Realm of the Sorcerer next turn, or the turn after that, depending. Vizier Fate Blaze. As I recall, yes, Khaled Tzeentch is here. We can't attack him because his army is weak, and thus we'll have to... Oh, I know what we could do. We haven't used this yet. Halt Army. I assume that Halt Army prevents him from moving. At least I hope it does. I guess we're about to find out. Oh, we could also reset our movement time with borrowed time now. Well, either way, halt this army. We do have a decent amount of grimoires after all. Then, unless I'm mistaken, he shouldn't be able to move, which would in theory give us time to approach him like so. Since you can't get closer to him anyway. Wait. Campaign movement disabled. Yeah, so we should be able to go after him next turn. You go... right beside this guy. I'm a little bit worried, just in case something goes wrong, because it looks like he still has movement range, but I'm pretty sure it's not actually the case. I wanted to go into raiding stance, but it looks like we'd be raiding our own territory, which we don't want to do. And if you go here, you might not have enough. No, looks like you will have enough. Beautiful. Alrighty, both of you raid. Why did I choose raiding? It's for the bonus XP, because these guys are still looking to level, and we don't really need to heal. Alrighty, looks good to me. Who else still needs to move this turn? Arvax Balefire doesn't really need to move. You keep moving this way, by the way. Alrighty. Yeah, doesn't really need to move. We could probably replace 2 of these Marauder Hunters with Javelins with something a little bit better. I would like Mammoth War Shrines. We could, I suppose, temporarily use Giants for our purpose. They don't really give us what we want here, and they aren't quite as Norscan as the Mammoths are, which is the main thing that bothers me. A nice line of Trolls would work out nicely as well, except that they have terrible leadership, and we were having leadership problems here last episode. Norscan Trolls, well, Ice Trolls would be better. You know what, stay here, I'll think about it. We should check out our other Norscan vassals. Basically, just to see whether they have built anything that's a little bit stronger, a little bit more elite. Or anything interesting like the Skinwolves. So you have the Feral Mammoth upgrades, and yet you have War Mammoths as... Garrison? Probably from the Garrison building? Yeah. You just can't build them as yet. I guess this needs to go up to tier 5. I think the only Norscan ally we have that can go up to tier 5 is the new guys, but they don't actually have the structures that enable the construction of anything. I'm just checking all of these things, and yes, there are some easier way to do this. Oh, you can get armored skinwolves at Bloodhaven, eh? Seems like an appropriately named location for that. Bloodhaven. Outpost. I do not see armored skinwolves there. Maybe the game is lying. Huh. Odd. Well, I'm gonna say build it anyway, even though it's expensive. Now it provides garrison armored skinwolves. Whoops. Yeah, that's why. Alright, fair enough. We'll just hope that we can build them elsewhere. Norse controls. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll do this. Go to outposts. I want to see if any of these guys have anything mammoth-like. We just did the Tong. We already have Tokmars. You're fine. Schwarzwolf. Wait, what was here? Feral Manticore, some chariots. Nothing too crazy. They might not be leveled yet. It might be too low in the turn count. You at least have Marauder champions with great weapons. But I mean, yeah, they would work with the Norscan armies, but at the same time, we can build much better units by virtue of the fact that we have access to Chaos Warriors rather than Marauder champions. So the interesting stuff is the mammoths, the monsters, etc., etc. I suppose we could temporarily do feral mammoths and then eventually replace them with war shrines. They're better than nothing. Maybe we'll do that. All right, fine. Build another outpost with Zerulus here, and we'll do a couple mammoths. probably a waste to keep using the basic Marauder Hunters with Javelins, and I will probably get the mod that increases the number of allied units we have in the army. Now, last time that I did that, I used the Better Alliance mod. The thing I didn't like about that mod was that it modifies the red line and makes it stronger, and I just don't like that, because modifying and making it stronger is just a little bit obnoxious. It's kind of a side effect, and I don't really want to play around it. There was another mod, but I can't remember the name of it, that didn't do that. That was a very small mod that just increased the number of units. If anybody remembers the name of that other mod, not Better Alliance, please let me know and remind me, because that would be quite helpful. Oh, wait a moment. The Giants have bolstered defense, eh? Oh, maybe the Giants are the way to go. Alright, fine. If you're just gonna sit here, I'll lose one of these guys. They cost us basically nothing anyway. Start building a Giant. You're healing up anyway, so you may as well. And we'll get the other Giant either from you or from one of the others later on. Alrighty, that looks good to me. Oh, how much does a Giant cost? 300 something? Yeah, I mean, it's expensive, but... Gotta do what you gotta do. Building. Road to Damnation is fine. Trails of Kashutilis. Let's upgrade Moment to Potential and Moment to Potential. And we don't need to upgrade you because you're Public Order, and our Public Order there, if... maybe not fine, but it's okay. And the rest of this is fine, so let's skip. Including the cult thing. Oh, actually, speaking of the cult thing, where's that cult magus? 2 turns. Alright, nearly there. Spawnified. Our army suddenly finds himself fighting alongside a spawn of Tzeentch himself. Surely a gist of the puppets of Misrule. Which army is this? This you?
I like it.
That... Huh. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, we won't say no to that. Do these count as our units? Like, do they differ from our units, or are they actually upgraded? If, like... I'm wondering if these guys are actually the same exact units, or whether they count as another faction's units, and therefore we cannot, you know, get as much use out of them. Okay, now Nurgle is ascendant, but it does mean these things are back up in case we want to use them again, which is a nice thing to have. I'm wondering if we should pop Night of Madness again just to get the bonus research rate. I guess it'll save us a turn. But I guess we also have time in case we need to use it elsewhere. Anyway, you, Vizier Fateblaze, are going to go after Khaled al-Muntazir now, and you are going to reinforce with those spawn. As to whether we care whether they survive or not, it remains to be seen. They are rather expensive, but we could... Huh. And we could transfer the 2 of the spawn to Arvak's Balefire's army while we have them. Use them in place of trolls to help hold the line, and then later replace them with Norscan Ice Trolls. Might be better than Marauder Hunters with Javelins, because I fear that what's going to happen is it's going to take a long time until our Norscan allies unlock Ice Trolls, and it's Ice Trolls we want. Anyway, let's kill off Khaled al-Muntazir, but before we do, engagement threshold remains, was it 400 likes and 60 comments, unless I'm mistaken, and the next episode will be an hour-ish long as well. This, well, we'll see. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Poor Khaled al-Muntazir, look what he's been reduced to. Oh, at least he gets a fireball firing back at us. Not that it's going to do too much, as it won't break through our barrier. Anyway, look what he's been reduced to. From holding Bel Aliad with a Graveguard and decent units to just a smattering of basic skeleton warriors and such. And while he has grown weaker, we have grown stronger, as after every fight a couple of horrors evolve, and we get more skill points and stuff, so he's just in more and more trouble with every iteration of his and our army. We're down to only 4 pink horrors. I don't remember how many we started with, at least 8, possibly more. And I think it was 9 maybe? I think we started with 3 regular pink horrors before blue horrors. But anyway, they're doing pretty good now. Looks like the bats are going to move towards us, and once again we now have enough range to knock them out of the sky before they can really land or do anything. And chasing around those iridescent horrors will not work out so well for them. We've also destroyed the enemy vampire, as in the hero, and now we only have to destroy Khaled al-Muntazir. I'm going to speed this back up a teensy bit while we move back forward and start launching those blue fires again. Huh, that one only did about 10% damage to him. Okay, that one did a good 40%, huh. I guess the first was non-overcast and the second was overcast. I would assume that that was the difference. Oh wow, look at those oh, that's pretty cool. The shots from the blue horrors that missed the bats just went sailing up into the sky and started dropping among the enemy units. Huh, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if you could make use of that in some way. Because it effectively increases their range by 5 times the amount by firing up into the air at bats. It also looks pretty darn cool with all those fireworks. I'm gonna have to think about that at some point. Anyway, maybe a gaze of fate onto a flying unit and then have everybody focus said flying unit in order to do as much damage or get as many shots sailing past it as possible. Wouldn't likely work on a very fragile unit like bats, but a less fragile unit like a, I don't know, like a dragon or something, very well might. Anyway, Khaled al-Muntazir has made it into the battle with about half of his HP remaining, but we're going to do our best to knock him out. That's another quarter of his HP out, though it looks like the first elements of his army are on the approach. We're also having our iridescent horrors fire at him with their missile attacks, adding them to those of the pink and blue horrors, and with that, Khaled al-Muntazir goes down. This is the second time we've brought this vampire low, and well, I expect we'll see him at least one more time before his faction is wiped out. We do have the Chaos Spawn that have been gifted to us apparently by Tzeentch, or by Tzeentch. Well, yes, but by the Puppets of Misrule. So thanks, Village. They're coming in handy here as they're completely protecting our leftmost flank, and it does mean we don't need to back up nearly as much as we normally might with this army, especially since we were also able to summon a unit of blue horrors on field to distract some of the enemy, since we don't care about how much damage those guys take. Alright. Looking pretty okay now. Bounce power's at about 90%, 100% now in our favor, and it is only a matter of time as the last of the skeleton warriors melt away under fire. And there we go. Oh wow, this one has a broken... do all the skeletons have their the back of their skulls essentially staved in like that? I gotta take another look at them. Anyway, there we go. Decisive victory for us, no problem at all. Alright, very nice, very nice. Another win for the little guys, and ooh, plenty of cash for our trouble as well. And now, could we possibly have gotten up to rank 12? No dice, 2.4k XP, so only 11. It's 12 that we really want. And ooh, another mission successful from, like, everybody. And the good thing about that is, does that mean another giant, or are we one short? No, it was 52 before, and now it's 58. Oh well, still could make some very good use out of that melee defense, I think. So in lieu of the war shrines on mammoths, we'll do the Norskin giants. Still Norskin enough for our purposes. Anyway, you can... Oh, you're gonna suffer attrition unless we raid our own territory, ain't ya? And I really would like to not suffer attrition. If you go into March stance... You cannot reach our own territory, and then all of this is attrition-y. Oh, it's annoying. We make a lot of money here, and I don't think it's worth it. Fine, just march stance and suffer a turn of attrition while we move onward. No, this guy's got a full army nearly ready and run up and running again. You, however, get in camp. Good for you. Alrighty. Now, what else do we need to do this turn? Was that the only thing that we needed to move? No, alright, it's a new turn. Therefore, a lot of... Whoa. What did I just see here? Okay, Nakari's on the way, and Nakari actually likes us well enough for right now. Huh. Minus 54. decent chance that we could vassalize him or get into a massive war with him. I guess the main thing about getting into a war with Nikari is that we've already fought Slaanesh a lot, and frankly, I'm not so sure that there's going to be interest in fighting them even more. The main issue with this is how much our Chaos factions will dislike our friendliness with Nikari, since they don't seem to like being friendly with other demonic factions or other Chaos Warrior factions, or really anybody. Now, there's another demonic faction here. Kind of tempted to just straight up declare war on them. And just to have everybody be against them. It's another Slaaneshi faction. You know, let's do that. Another faction for everybody to be friends, be friendlier with each other by fighting. And hopefully one of these guys, or one of these days, these guys will actually move down there. That didn't actually rise in any way. Still don't like the Heralds of the Tempest, really. You're friendly with each other. Oh, you're not so friendly. Aversion, they don't like the broken treaties with Schwarzwolf and Harbingers of Disaster. What broken treaties with Schwarzwolf? You don't like the war with Keepers of Bliss and Loish's Indulgence? You are at war with Keepers of Bliss and Loish's Indulgence. These Chaos factions. Oh man, I don't know what they want. Some of them love everything, some of them hate everything, love each other, hate each other. That's Chaos for you. Okay, well, we'll deal with it best as we can. Anyway, Kairos, you are moving again. And let's encamp you, so that we can stay in our own territory and keep moving with these guys together, especially since they're supposed to transfer. Ooh. Would they be able to reach us? Looks like no, or at least I hope not. I'm just going to assume that they cannot, or will be unwilling to declare war against us, as it would be unfortunate to lose both of these guys, but if we do, it is what it is. 'Twas fated, let's say. I'm going to have you transfer all of your guys from this direction to Rel, and then take them back next turn once you're able to encamp. Safer to do it like this. There you go. Alrighty. There's a blue scribe's looking 2 points. We have enemy wins a magic power reserve. We can gain more wins a magic power reserve ourselves, or we could reduce further our... We could reduce further our costs of magic by getting more wins, or getting more lures, which I think we'll do. Let's go Shaman for lure of metal, and then maybe Hish. I do like Foz protection. Let's do Hish. Alrighty. What's up next? Ragnar, you're good. Veritas Painbringer, you will need to move again. I assume you guys cannot reach True Liar's Monolith in one turn, but that's fine. It'll give you a chance to mana up. You travel as far as you can, right here. And then you guys go right beside him. And then next turn we attack the Nurglites. And then that'll be the last time these guys fight together before splitting off into other locations. One to the realm of Slaanesh, one to the realm of Nurgle. Baradon. Okay, let's all move all of these heroes, which are supposed to join armies. And, oh, kind of peeled off, but I guess we're going around like this, so you can... click the wrong thing, my bad. You guys go down here, and down here. It does take a long time for them to get over there. Let's also check, okay, we're one more iridescent horror. Man, we need so many more iridescent horrors. And we have fixated and conspirator. Okay, not ones we want in terms of the heroes, which means, unless I'm mistaken... Oh, we gotta move Marcus von Sigurd. Alright, I guess you... Man, do we even have space to have you join this army? Probably not if we want 4 cockatrices. Well, I guess... We could do 2 cockatrices in this army and put some more cockatrices in other armies. The thing is, I wanted cockatrices and... Maybe I just like saying cockatrices. But anyway, I wanted cockatrices and... and a couple of Exalted Flamers in this army, because the Exalted Flamers provide bolstered marksmanship, which helps out the range units. And this is all about doing range damage. Covetous. You would work with these guys, just that I just don't think this army has room. There's too many things that we need in here. Also, let's double check diplomacy for any additional missions from anybody. As soon as this guy stops moving, there we go. And missions aplenty, or if not aplenty, at least reasonably existent. Akarak Balefire, yes. Akarak Balefire. Akarak Balefire. Oh, we're maxed out with the castlings as well. Okay, we'll have to take a look at them. We're maxed out with the Bearsling, but I think we checked and they're one of the least advanced ones. Yeah, they got nothing that's useful for us. The Schwarzwolf... They have trolls and stuff, but I'd rather have the ice trolls. And then the Tamaks, you guys are okay, but nothing interesting as yet. No skin wolves, no ice trolls, so we're just gonna keep waiting. We'll keep doing the quests, but once we're at 100 for most of them, then we'll, you know, I guess stop doing the quests for those particular factions until they tack up and become useful once more. Anyway, let's see about building. We got next turn for the 10% reductions, which means we'll start being able to build tier 4s. In the meantime, we can upgrade the Forgotten Scriptorium here. Cliffs of Death we can ignore. Dolganyar Forest we can ignore. Eternity Stair should be upgraded as well. Forgotten Scriptorium into Weave of Time. I guess we'll keep the Transmog Locus here just for now, because I don't want to rebuild it and then reinvest in it, because it's going to be expensive. You can build your Hidden Library. Oh! Would you look at that? Frozen Moon, rather, is, I think, the only one territory here that does not have a trade good. Every single other one does, but not Frozen Moon. I wonder if that was on purpose or whether that was an oversight. What's the deal? We should have a landmark or something then. Anyway, Forgotten Scriptorium, and I think we'll build the defenses here because decent likelihood we'll get attacked, but once we have the reductions. And then this territory we're saving to transfer to our allies. Public order still looking fairly okay despite the -5 from the unhappy populace. Otherwise I would have confederated another little faction. For now though, we're ending the turn. Alright, Krak-a-Drag destroyed, one of the factions we had everybody declare war on, though did we actually help with this in any way? Oh! Apparently Warhost of the Apocalypse did this somehow. How the heck did you do that? What the heck? No, seriously, how did they do this? I didn't see them getting an army over here, which is kind of impressive in and of itself. Good for them, I guess. Anyway, Wild Hunt begins. Construction reduction for all buildings. Winds of pay. Now, Archie, how do you feel about us? Going down to -36 now. It feels like every turn it's decreasing, even though these guys should be getting friendlier and friendlier with each other every turn, but apparently not. Alright, I think we need a few more war declarations, keeping everybody nice and friendly. Scarbrand's an option, but he's probably fighting these guys, and that's probably good for us. Azag. Yeah, we could do Azag, declare war. That's one. Let's visionize him, reveal Shroud. And at the same time declare war on the Kislevites. That's Orthodoxy. And declare war. And we should declare war on the regular Kislev Orthodoxy as well, which I'm pretty sure is in here. Gotta keep everybody friendly. Oh, wow. What the heck? Ice Court, 6th strength and 25 settlements. They're basically on our level. That's fascinating. Well done. Damn, Serena Catrin. I really enjoyed her campaign, so good job. Declare war. Huh, I wonder if Fissenland and Nuln will then declare war on us. Find out. Yes, they will. All right. Well, let's hope that after a few more turns of that, these guys will start liking us and each other a little bit more. There we go. Now it's rising, and between each other as well. All right. We'll get them a few more wars if they keep getting angry again. That's. Gotta keep the chaotics happy, I guess. Anyway, in terms of what we're doing next, I believe it was this. Collecting for income from all buildings plus 15%. It's only 8 turns, and while that is still a fair amount and would delay us getting to scattered loci and the plus 5% casualty or punishment rate, which we also admittedly really need, this takes 11 turns, and then this takes 8, and this will enable us to get more armies up and running, though we will get more money out of this as well, so certainly something to keep an eye on. Anyway, Kairos, Flyros, you are going to go into raiding stance and move this way.
I serve the Windlord.
And I'm pretty sure they can't bypass you, so you guys can move together now. And, oh wait, Ragnar Hildenmouth, okay, who's supposed to have what right now? Rel is supposed to have the Chaos Warriors. I don't know whether this is supposed to be his cultist or somebody else's cultist. Oh, actually, this is supposed to be your cultist. Perfect. Alrighty, I guess you can then transfer these guys to the other army. Like so. Alrighty, and then the other stuff is supposed to come from Kairos, but, you know, he busy. He a busy bird. Veritas Painbringer and co. It's time to fight some Nurglites. Well, let's do it. Should be fun. Alrighty, and the place is not Tzeentchly corrupted, but at the same time it is also not Plagueinated, which is nice. You got with 1 point, let's get you Gaze of Fate, but it's Brand of Char that we're really looking for. Exalted Hero, you have Chaos Commander, and next we're getting Fated Protector to get that barrier replenishment rate. You are a Decent Horror, though you are not staying in this army. We could max out Locus. Yeah, let's max out Locus, then we'll start going through Tzeentch's many glories afterwards. What about Amon Chakai? Sadly, I think in order to avoid Executor, we might have to go for Projected Self. It's a really cool idea, but again, we don't want the... We don't want desyncs, we want watchable battles, not unwatchable battles, so it is what it is. Most likely. But anyway, for now we're going Myriad Servants in order to get the flyers as buffed up as possible. Anyway, you guys are all going to attack, so you're going to move on. Ooh, can you encamp? Yes, you can. And we should be able to draw these guys out. You can go into Channeling. And then far more to you will attack. You are, take it or not, at war with anybody, and that's fine. We're going to have you all reinforce, and then you attack, declare war. Yes. Like so. Draw everybody out. There we go. Pyrrhic victory, lots of Nurglites, and primarily Plaguebearers and Nurglings, however. And I would wager that our various units of Forsaken and Spawn should deal with that just fine. Plus, in terms of air superiority, gotta give it to our Screamers over those Plague drones. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Hey, look forward, mutant pulling the War Shrine. Don't look up. Well, if you look up into the realm of Tzeentch too long, probably won't go super well for you either way. Anyway, here we go. Should be a nice little fight. We've got a decent pile of Nurglites against us, and I'm interested to see Nurgle face off against our now slightly more powerful Tzeentchian armies. Again, our armies are growing in strength over time. I'm going to start the battle out by annoying some of those plague-ridden and, well, killing everybody off until we take the entirety of the realm of the sorcerer. If these guys want to just sit there, well, we'll take advantage of it to launch blue fires at them and then bring up our flamers to increase that damage a little bit further. Looks like the enemy's going to hit them back with a Spirit Leech, but is going to lose the first of its Plague-ridden to the first volley. Here comes the second Plague-ridden, taking about, not bad, 40% of its HP. And then another 20% from a non-overcast blue fires. Gotta remember that flamethrower units are good both against single entities and blobs of units. You gotta love flamethrower units. And down goes the second Plague-ridden, just as another enemy lord makes its way onto the battlefield. And we've got a non-demonic lord now, plus we've got all of the reinforcements coming in, so we gotta try to knock this guy out before backing off. He's going to head towards us, shield up. I'm not so sure that that one single shield is going to be sufficient to block all those flames, but I guess we'll see. Oh, another Spirit Leech on these guys. The barriers keep countering Spirit Leech though, and there we go. Let's see how much that did. About half of his HP between the blue fires and the volleys from the flamers. And another volley, but they do get hit with another Spirit Leech. He is on the approach now. Come on, nearly there, and ooh, looks like at least some of those blue fires missed, but not enough as he's down to 25% of his HP, and oh, come on, Iridescent Horror, how did you miss that one shot? You had it, you had the kill. Now tell me this guy's gonna escape now. Somebody better okay. Blue fires will get him. If the iridescent horror cannot hit that shot, I imagine that one of the, like, 8 or not, probably 9 shots from the blue fires will take him out. His head disappears in the conflagration, and this Nurglite Chaos Lord is gone. Enemies annoyed about that whole thing, though, so here comes some Plague Drones who will go directly for the burning discs, our Flamer units here. I don't think that's going to go so well either, however, as these Screamers surround them, led by Amon Chakai, and will destroy them quite quickly, I imagine. That's magical damage and a massive amount of anti-large bonuses. Plus, frankly, it's a lot of Screamers. Of course, most of them get into each other's way here, so only 2 would be sufficient, but it was neat to see them all working together like that. Down go the Plague Drones, and away go the Screamers. Looking pretty darn great, and, well, like they sort of, I don't know, natural, well, maybe not natural, not quite the right word, but the, these fauna are appropriate to this particular environment, is what I'm getting at. They look like they belong in the Tzeentch skies. Which they do. Anyway, looks like with that unit of flyers gone, the enemy has, I think, 1 more, maybe? Or is it 2 more? I see 1. Alright, well, we'll have to take that one out, but there's other things moving toward us. Many a Plague Toad, many a Nurgling, and many a Plague Bearer. And we're just going to wait patiently for them over on this side. No real need to move our Chaos Spawn or our Forsaken forward. The enemy will reach them eventually, but until they do, we can get a little bit more work out of our Flamers. There we go. 1 volley does about, what, 25% damage on the enemy. They're going to counteract that with a Fecundity, but frankly, they're wasting it on the Plague Toads anyway. And as the Plague Toads try to close the distance with our Flamers, we'll use Gaze of Fate to lock them in place. The minus 40 melee attack is wasted here, but it will allow us to get a few more volleys into them with our Flamers. You know what happens to a toad when it gets hit by a warp flame? The same thing that happens to everything else. Anyway, looks like the Plague Toads are pretty much done for, about 10% of their HP remaining, and down this unit goes. The one that didn't get hit by warp flame, however, we're going to have to back away from, as it smashes into our line of the Marauders here. Still keeping these Marauders, we might eventually turn them into more Forsaken. I haven't decided what other additional units we're going to have in this army in addition to the Forsaken spawn and the Mutilith Vortex Beasts. I don't want to go too heavy on the Vortex Beasts either, probably leave it to 2 in this particular army, just because if we put too many in, then it'll be sort of their army rather than the Spawn and Forsaken army, you know? Alright, well, it looks like the first of the enemy Nurglings have reached our line as well, and are going to attempt to make it through the Chaos Spawn and Forsaken. It is interesting to see the sheer number of Chaos Spawn that we have here, and due to the Tzeentch Spawn's numbers. Almost looking like regular infantry rather than monstrous infantry. Over in the back, it looks like 2 units of, well, Plague Toads and Pox Riders have smashed into the Marauders who are hiding in the trees. But as soon as they get trapped by the Marauder Anvil, they get hit by the Screamer Hammer and surrounded, and will hopefully be destroyed by all that anti-large. Pretty neat little confrontation between the Plague Toads and the Screamers, though, I gotta say. I think it bodes well for us sending him on Chakai to the realm of Nurgle. He's probably just going to need some temporary units. Obviously, we don't have access to a lot of the other flyers. We can build him some cockatrices, but other than the cockatrices, it's going to be a while until we get Doom Knights and other types of flyers, especially since he's more of a melee flyer than a range flyer kind of flyer. Anyway, we're also going to need to get him a melee, as in on the ground. Well, not necessarily melee. We're going to need to get him somebody who sits on the ground and does stuff. I wonder if we can get an iridescent horror or something like that, a stock ability. I don't think anybody in the Tzeentch roster has stock, which is a little bit odd. You would think that Tzeentch hiding itself, I mean, Kairos literally hides in time, right? He has that hidden in time ability, putting himself a few seconds to the past or to the future in order to be hidden from their foe. Yeah, I'm just thinking it's a little bit odd that no Tzeentch unit has any kind of stock or hidden, unless I'm mistaken and somebody does and I'm forgetting somebody. I'm gonna have to take a double look at the at what the roster looks like. Anyway, the battle is joined and has been joined for a while now. The bounce power is at about 90% in our favor already. The enemy piles of Plague Bearers and Nurglings failing to find purchase in the piles of Forsaken and Chaos Spawn. We do summon a unit of Blue Horrors to fire into the backs of them. And YouTube, by the way, I am saying horrors. Horrors. Gotta be careful about overusing that word, but anyway, let's see what we got here. Another Gaze of Fate comes down, together with a Searing Doom. It looks like the balance of power shifted to fully in our favor, and the enemy Plague Bearers are melting away. I do think there was another Plague Ridden in this blob somewhere, but it hardly matters. That magical damage on all of our units is really working well. Well, all of our units with the exception of the Chaos Spawn, but at least the Forsaken. Gotta remember that we can put a banner on. I was gonna say the weird spawn to give it magical damage, but maybe we can put it on one of the other spawn. I mean, it doesn't really matter who holds the banner of change, but I just think it's a decent place to put it on the weird spawn. I mean, anyway, it looks like the Marauders and the Screamers have done just as well as the line of Chaos Spawn and Forsaken, and the enemies both in the center and in the flank have been defeated. A lovely little fight. Bid farewell to Nurgle, and we claim the realm of Sorcerer fully for our own, the first of all the realms of the gods. Alright, there we go, a very nice battle, and most of our units got to play. The Screamers established their superiority fairly quickly. Amonchikai kept casting and whacking away at whatever he could reach, which was apparently a lot of units, 112 kills, 56,000 damage, and then a solid work out of the Forsaken and Spawn, classic sort of combo. Because we're combined with another army, we're not really using them as we normally would, but once they separate, they'll be a little bit different in that regard. 420 money versus fully healing up the one unit that got hurt. I'm gonna say take the money. I mean, you're barely damaged and you should heal to full even with the auto-resolve or whatnot of whatever units remain here. And speaking of, enemy killed in battle, victory over Nurgle. Hello Discord, nice find. And Farmort, you will take out True Liar's Monolith, and just assuming nobody will get killed here. Occupy, deleting the faction, Septic Claw, and okay, you don't need the Luckstone, and completing the realm of the Sorcerer. True Liar's Monolith. Ooh, we got to keep the Cultist Enclave and the Weave of Time. Very nice. And we'll build a hidden library immediately, and then head into Mutalith Prism Formulae. Though I guess you, well, I'm just wondering whether you should channel or we should get more Tzeentch corruption here. I fear we need the additional Tzeentch corruption, so let's do that. You will need to heal, and in fact... Actually, you don't need to heal. Go Tzeentch corruption. Like so. And then move this way. And we're gonna swap some units around. In fact, you don't move out that way as far with Mr. Farmort, but otherwise we are nearly ready to go to different locations. And yeah, that's why it's going to be a question as to whether we want to fight Nikari or not, because not fighting him would mean, well, not fighting however many territories of Slaanesh this is, because we still have to do the realm of Slaanesh, and we fought Slaanesh quite a bit. Although, if you guys are enjoying fighting Slaanesh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll put it to a vote. Do we fight Nikari and probably spend many episodes dealing with him, or do we fight other factions? I do want to go to the Empire as well. Frankly, there's a lot of places I want to go to, but anyway. Oh, you're actually moving towards us. Good for you. In camp, because we need to heal, and then we'll probably move this way via our other stance. I guess... This guy's probably moving towards us, eh? Oh, right. Can we build that giant that... No, yeah, well, let me just see here. Okay, I don't really care about Archie or Heralds or Steelfist Reavers because they're useless. Yeah, we can't build... can't build anything out of them. Chaos Warriors are terrible allies. Yes, we can borrow their armies, but I don't see why we would want them. Ally mission for Bearsonlings are already at maxed out. You, however, are not. Let's have Pervol. And that's it. Okay, well, not a lot of choices here. Alright, fair enough. I guess we'll have to wait for that giant. And the stronger we can make those Norskins, the better. Yeah, so I guess we'll get the couple of spawn in this army and then replace them with Norskin Ice Trolls once we can, which means, I guess, moving this army out slightly, popping it into an camp. Oh, that reduces the military presence, but would you be able to reach Library of Horreptus from here? I don't know, and I kind of don't want to risk it.
On discs we fly!
I probably shouldn't risk it. It does seem to be at the edge of his range, but I would rather not lose it. Alright, fine, you're gonna go into Temple of Mordig then, and follow this guy, which means you, cultists, are going to go into Vizier Fateblaze's army. And y'all are gonna keep advancing towards the undead. Gotta watch out for them looping around us, though, especially since this place is, well, maybe not poorly defended, but the garrisons are not going to be able to hold against anything, really. Anyway, Infernal Citadel, we do have the money. Wait, are we ready for building, or do we want to... Who's our Alright, this guy. Yeah, you're fine where you are. We want to move the heroes, if nothing else. Alrighty, so you guys will need to be on the path to Kairos, so go this way. And this way. And there's got to be a faster way, man. These mountains, traversing them. I got so used to easily traversing them with the dwarfs that now traversing them with the with Tzeentchans feels a little bit difficult by comparison. Jamathius Eglum, you've got the established cult. I wish I could see what the super cult does, but there was a request to put one in the Great Tree, or was it to put one in Athelorn? I don't remember. But I guess we'll figure it out. Anyway, you are good to go. Let's do building. And now that we have the construction reduction, we can at least do one of the expensive buildings, and that's going to be you, because you've reached rank 5, and thus you gain nothing anymore. Alrighty. City of Dust, you are fine as you are, because we're getting rid of that. Zamaski will upgrade you eventually. Same with you, Dolganyire. Frozen Moon. Yes to the Hidden Library, yes to the Weave of Time, and most definitely yes to the... Slither of Potential. Gotta get those iridescent horrors. Great Tree, now that we've got this cheaper, we're gonna build the Demonic Gathering. And then this place we will trade, but not right now. You can collect income now. Beautiful. Frozen Moon, do it. Great Tree, you cannot yet collect income, and Blasted Wastes also cannot yet collect income. Why? It's just because the corruption isn't fixing itself. Ugh, yeah, okay, it'll... Hopefully, eventually. It's like a long time, so that show's been gone. Oh well, not a big deal. Diplomacy. Anything of significance here? Probably not. Sarthoriel's Everwatchers want to be friends, but don't want to confederate, though they're actually quite close to it, admittedly. I'll have to keep an eye on them. And they're the only ones of significance right now. Cult of Mordig wants to peace out, but we don't want to. Neither with these guys. Alright. We'll just do more wars when needed. We could get the additional grimoires out of the Scriveners of Insanity, but we could also wait. We've got 10 turns until the next potential Tzeentchan thing, in which time we'll want to get it on cooldown. Anyway, let's skip, and then turn. Phlegmatic humor destroyed, okay. Oh, they're gonna take Wadi... LD. Oh, we don't want that. Well, that's an... I guess we could always take it back from them if we wanted to. It's just that... we have to go after this guy at the same time, and I take it you are just out of range. Man, that's not great moving around here, and we can't reach you with teleport, or can we? Can't quite tell. It says red, but it's kind of red all over like this, so maybe we can. Settler's Revenge has been destroyed. It's another faction that we won't be able to... Nakari, don't take territories that we want. Well, I suppose if they take all of this territory, we could just ignore them, but there's no guarantee that they'll actually win against them, which is back to the issue. Also, how are we looking for those giants? One away now? Yeah, unless it goes up. Still an actually giggle. Feral Manticore, and I take it nothing interesting here. Yeah, you have a giant as well. Oh, your giants are cheaper than these guys' giants, meaning we could build your giants. This guy could attack Temple of Mordig, though. I guess what we could do is this. So you can go into Temple of Mordig. in order to head this guy off preemptively. Nakari, are you really going for this place instead of wiping these guys? Oh, you're not at war with these guys. Huh. How about you join the war against them? This is Xandri? No, this is the Tech Dynasty. Okay, never mind. That's not gonna happen. Waste of our time. And this is Xandri. Yeah, we could join the war against Xandri and make you take this, because you've already occupied a territory. Nakari here could, I suppose, serve the same purpose as the other guy. It's just that we will at some point need money-making territories. I'll think about it. Wait, what? Oh, what the heck? I selected the wrong... Okay, my bad. Nakari, we will join your war against Xandri. You join war against the Tech Dynasty. Yeah, let's do that, at least for now. And having done this, I want to see something. If we take a look at Archaon or somebody else... Okay, I don't see the negative from having a deal with Nakari as yet. It looks like all of the Norskins don't like us fighting with the Slaaneshi. It's just, it's hard to keep track of who hates who, etc. But what can you do? Anyway, Kairos, you have finally reached Floating Mountain. Doesn't look like Jiao Ming wants to go there, but that's fine. Well, he won't his defeat trade anyway, and I'd rather him not die yet. Yeah, you're heading into Floating Mountain, which I take it is not a walled settlement because it's not a capital settlement. Okay, so you're gonna attack this. And you guys will reinforce if you can. Oh, don't tell me you can't reinforce this either. Man. Come on, guys. Okay, what if you go into mana wasting stance? Nope, you still cannot. Oh, shit. Okay, well, keep moving then. What can you do? We could leave Kairos here for the turn and see if these guys sally out. It's a possibility. Because if they don't, if they allow us to besiege them, then we might be able to, we might just be able to attack them like that. I'll think about it. Let's see what else we gotta do this turn before we decide. Veritas Painbringer, you guys, you're ready to separate now. So, Farmort, you are going to sadly lose that Iridescent Horror, which was originally Amon Chakai's. You're gonna keep your Exalted Hero, unless I'm mistaken, but lose your Burning Discs. Alright, you're waiting for 2 Sorcerers. Alright, so Manchika, you now have that Iridescent Horror, which has Fortunate, which kind of meh. I mean, technically speaking, it's not that you super need an this particular Iridescent Horror, and it is a... Oh, it is a Tzeentch Iridescent Horror. I suppose if we had an Iridescent Horror, it would be metal here. It would give additional armor to the spawn, and it would allow them to heal more. We had specifically 2 spaces for 2 more sorcerers. 2 of these are going to become Mutalith Vortex Beasts, and then 2 Forsaken or any other possible units, like Cockatrices or whatever else we might want to put in there. You know what, I suppose we could get you a new... I mean, yeah, fine. We'll get this guy in here now. You're a lore of metal. Yeah, fine. Even without the additional armor that he provides. It might be better to provide additional armor to the Screamers, so maybe we'll do a couple of metal lore. The guys in Amon Chakai's army, maybe? I will think about it. Also, you're the one with Volatile Flames, yeah? Yeah, alright. So you guys are fine, and then Farmort, you are going to go this way, and onward to the realm of Slaanesh. Hopefully with some sorcerers in tow, which, okay, you have Exalted Heroes. Where can we build sorcerers? Oh, we don't have the, I don't even know whether we can build sorcerers anywhere here. We can build 1 cultist here. I swear I built a sorcerer here, but I might have deleted the building at some point. Chaos Sorcerer, oh, it's here. Now we don't have space anyway. Oh, the Volatile Flames one is decent for this, and your metal, too. That's real metal. Alright, well, we'll need to build the buildings in order to get the additional stuff. Anyway, Amon Chakai, you are going to need a full army, and otherwise you're going to proceed to the realm of Nurgle, which is going to take a while. I guess you can start slowly traveling. In fact, since we need a little bit of corruption here, you guys can travel together while corrupting the place. Alrighty, and Vizier Fate Blaze. I guess we've no choice but to go after... Oh, now we're at war with you. That's not like you'd be any kind of problem.
It's me!
Also, I forgot about this. You... Huh. Would you be able to march stance to reach this guy? Would you be able to regular stance to reach this guy? Oh, we should be able to wipe them both out. Okay, that's fantastic. You are going to go here. It'll mean you'll suffer attrition, but it'll be worth it, I hope. And then you are going to jump on Dieter Gearhoff. I'll level you next time. Ambush. There we go. Haven't fought an ambush with these guys. Let's see how they do. Alright, here we go. Haven't had this army ambush anybody before, and I guess against an army that actually tried to escape, or an army that was actually quick, this might not work so well because we don't have enough damage with this army yet to punish them a lot for it. However, this is an undead army with very slow-moving units, making up like 95% of their army, and therefore we should be pretty good at destroying them. They're not escaping this one. I mean, not that they probably could anyway, but anyway. Looks like we've got the Karen Wraiths and the Doggos who are going to be the major threat. They're going to move up towards us. Going to get a few volleys into them, but as the enemy army sort of starts to close with ours, and we know the fact that we are much faster, 40 movement speed compared to the 24 of the skeletons, we just back off rather than taking any additional damage, especially with the Karen Wraiths now melting away, having been concentrated by the pink and blue horrors as their magical damage dealing and immune to contact effects. Anyway, up we go, up the hill, gonna slow the enemy down even further as they attempt to climb. Granted, it will slow us as well, but as soon as we crest that hill, we can start firing down and back upon the poor, slow skeletons. Always sad to see the vampire counts suffer like this, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Frankly, I think I say it in every single campaign. I love fighting the vampire counts almost as much as I love playing them, so it's just fine. And hey, they certainly made this blue and pink horror army work for it. Their first battle, almost like half of their army destroyed. And we lost several blue cores, a couple were reforged, and, well, we've had to work for the strength of this army, so... We'll continue to do so for now, anyway. Allowing the enemy to close a little bit more before backing off a little bit more, doing decent bits of damage, and the balance of power is at about 85% in our favor now. Our iridescent horrors keep hovering overhead, shooting blue fires, pink fires, and their own missile attacks at the enemy, while we keep doing the whole run and gun thing. Not that it's really needed in this particular battle, but it is the sort of concept of this army, so we gotta get used to playing this army like this. I just got to get that additional increased speed that these guys are wanting. It'll be nice. Anyway, looks like the enemy is just about done for. There's a few decently healthy units still here. Well, healthy. It's demons fighting undead, but you know what I mean. But I'm sure they'll be out of the picture rather soon, especially as we still have a little bit more room to maneuver to back off to, and thus a little bit more damage to do without taking too much damage ourselves. Gonna have our iridescent horrors start focusing the corpse cart down. Though fortunately the corpse cart is even slower than the skeletons, and thus basically making it impossible for it to actually reach our line. And ooh, looks like we reached the edge of the map here. Not quite to the corner yet, but one of our units got stuck a little bit. Well, what can you do? Time to drop a few spells on the enemy and essentially do that little bit of area denial. Gehenna's Golden Hounds will stop the enemy moving forward, both due to the slow effect of the vortex and the fact that the enemy can't move through it. But it looks like the bounce power is very nearly 100% in our favor, and it looks like the enemy is beginning to rout. And the battle's nearly ours anyway. It's too bad the blue horrors have basically no ammunition, because they run out really, really quick compared to the pink horrors. It almost disincentivizes using blue horrors as opposed to pink horrors, and yeah, they might do a little bit better in melee due to their sort of higher numbers and such, and are generally more sacrificial. You wouldn't want to lose a pink horror and stuff like that, but you can just use exalted pink horrors, which are the best of both worlds anyway, since they have a much higher melee defense. Anyway, with that, the last of the enemy melts away, the corpse cart is done, and the battle is ours. A particularly effective ambush against the undead, especially with all those flames that we've got. Hey, we got one of the skeletons breakdancing. This guy's at least having a good time. Alright, very nice. The little horrors continue to do good work, and they are also still racking up a decent chunk of change for their victories. Well done. I am also still really enjoying them effectively leveling up as they grow. There we go, our first exalted pink horror. And you two will become regular pink horrors. Like so. Alrighty, and just out of curiosity, how do the melee stats compare with the Exalted and their blue horrors? Yeah, so the Exalted are just better in every conceivable way. Also, you've reached rank 12, so the Raucous Kin will now give them a bunch of speed and more missile damage. Lovely, and even more if we give them the Accursed Horrors, like so. Still got a max out looks of change, but we're getting there. Lovely. Up to 163 range and 64 missile damage or missile strength on the Exalted Pink Horrors, and, well, we'll see what heights we can take them all to. Still want one more Iridescent Horror of Tzeentch in here. Maybe. I'll think about it, but the additional range is really nice. Anyway, we are going to wipe out King BMOs, and yeah, we can't afford to not fight this because we'll suffer damage, so we'll just have you attack. Both of you are looking to level up anyway, so that's fine. I'm just worried if we auto-resolve it, how long will it take to actually heal everybody up? On the other hand, this is a terrible army. It's just skeleton warriors. Alright, I'm gonna risk it, and I'm just gonna hope that it isn't horrific. Alright, it wasn't so bad. At the very least, it could have been much worse. Interestingly, the spawn of Tzeentch didn't really get hurt at all, and all of these guys did, but these guys should have been in battle first, and the spawn of Tzeentch probably have a faster run speed than these guys. What the heck? Oh, either way. Alrighty, Wand Jet, you probably don't need this. In fact, I think we got a couple of things now that we can fuse. You and you. Ugh. And it's a frickin' Crown of Command. Earthing Rod and Wand of Jet. Ranger's Axe. Pretty useless as well, Wand of Jet. Obsidian Lodestone we can actually use, though. Iron Curse icons aren't horrible. We want the Rods of Whimsy. I guess Lucky Arrow I'm not super big on. Let's fuse that with the Luck Stone. An Asp Bow. Should be pretty useful in any ranged armies where we need to slow enemies down. Flamer army, probably. Certainly a decent option. I was going to say I don't care for Spell Shield, but that's not entirely true. It's actually not so bad. And we want to keep both of the Wands of Whimsy. This is melee attack bonuses, however. So it should probably go into an army that needs melee attack more than anything else. Alrighty, Chaos Steed for Charon. I don't remember which of the exalted heroes you are, but we'll have to keep an eye on you. You guys... I guess you're just going to have to suffer attrition. You're not going to be able to move back to your territory, are you? No, so you're going to have to suffer another turn of attrition, but it is what it is. You go here to Temple of Mordig, and you can take the... Ow, what the heck? I swear he had max movement range, and he got stuck and then lost all the movement range. Okay, that was very strange. I was hoping to get him to recruit that second giant, but it's all good. All good. Anyway. The City of Dust remains safe. Let us build the Warplinth here and the Wheel of Time, and for now we'll build the Cultist camp. As long as we have this army here, we should be reasonably safe, kind of garrisoning the place. Eventually we'll move out here, as Arcan has a massive amount of territory, pretty clearly, and he's fighting Khemri, as I recall, so that means, since Khemri's here, this might be all Arcan. Which makes sense, because then he'd cover the Black Pyramid of Nagash, which he probably wants, because reasons. So, yeah, anyway. Kairos... What was your deal? Oh, right, I was wondering whether we should just let them sally out and attack you, but they might not do so, but at the same time, we might be able to... Was there not another hero? Jamathius Saglim... Oh, right, you're the... Yeah, you're the super mage. Super magus. And then Karan Manticle. Out here. We keep hovering around 10k as we get a little bit more building money and then suddenly we lose it to getting a few more units. But that's just the way it is, I suppose. Alrighty, Zamoski, okay, you're not going to be prioritized in terms of upgrades. Lost Athenium here at Ebon Keep, and definitely the Slither of Potential, and then probably another capacity. I'm gonna say we need more Chaos Sorcerers right now, so that's the Chaos Sorcerer building is this. Yes. I really wish that at tier 5 it would provide us 2 capacities for them, but it is what it is. Alright. You're fine. We might upgrade you. Dolganyar, you're in the same position. True Liar's Monolith, yes to the Forgotten Scriptorium. Frozen Moon, yes to the Flicker of Potential. Soon we'll start getting more of those guys. And I believe that's it. Haven't checked the Winds of Magic manipulation in a bit. This is fine as it currently is because we're using this place, these places to generate all of our cash. I would like to see what's going on out here. These places don't matter as much because they're not... Only City of Dust is really generating cash. These guys at 150 isn't horrible, though, I will admit. Huh, so will you go up to 150 if we get you one more point? Take it out of Eternity Stare. Yes, alright, 150. And Eerie of the Watcher, you will also be able to get 150 if we max you out now. I think, wait, some of these places are not collecting income yet. Blasted Wastes, I believe, is not. So it's pointless to have any Winds of Magic here. Huh, income generated 150. Oh, it's technically 150, but it's actually nothing because you're not collecting any income. Okay, Winds of Magic manipulation, out, and in. Area of the Watcher, you are collecting income. Okay, gotta double check which places. Okay, these places are all good. You are actually collecting income and will be good shortly, Frozen Moon. Eternity Stare is also now collecting income, so really you're the only one that's not collecting any. Should put another one in here, but I don't think we have any spares. And we need the money more than we need the bonus Winds of Magic right now, so I guess we're just going to have to wait. Alright, waiting it is. We do still have a little bit of cash, meaning we can either upgrade you. We already have the capacity. Don't need the Pink Blaze right now. Zenbajin, I guess we're upgrading your Demonic Fortress. City of Dust is fine. Zamoski, fine. Let's upgrade your Demonic Fortress now that it's cheaper. And Dolganyar Forest, not yet. Shardback Mountains, oh right. I keep forgetting that we're going to trade you. Alright, we're going to start also building our Beastmen army out of Dolganyar Forest soon. I think we'll send it to kill the Skaven. Unless we want to vassalize the Skaven. I still haven't decided, really. A lot of the Norskins are really not super friendly with them. But everybody else is relatively okay. Does anybody, like, really, really hate them? If they declare war on the same factions, they'll be fine. And this is a long way to travel when we can go into the Realm of Corn and down here instead. Certainly something to think about, but we can think about it later. For now, skip, 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 and turn. Wait, no, Kairos. I forgot about you. We are going to... They're not going to sally out. They're just not. Just do it.
The past is set, the future forecast. Only the present is unresolved.
Alrighty, here we go. We are going to try to knock this little Slaaneshi faction out, especially since they don't really have anything that we want in terms of their units. If we were playing regular Chaos Warriors of Khorne, we might have some benefit to it, but not against the Slaaneshi. What we do have a benefit of is the XP that they offer with a fairly decently sized army, so hopefully our Marauders of Tzeentch can get themselves a nice good fight and a nice good amount of XP for Mr. Mr. Cold Hellbrass. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off with our flamers, exalted and regular, like at the front of our lines, just getting those volleys into the enemy as they approach. And there we go, and dishing out plenty of damage before they have to go back and hide behind the rest of our battle lines. A little bit of melee work from Mojo the Flamer here. Also got to remember that in our eventual Flamer army, which will have the plus 30, was it? Buff to melee attack and defense. Those guys are going to be a little bit more capable in melee. Still incredibly fragile, I'd wager, but at least they can hold some enemies off should they be forced into the melee. There we go, Marauder versus Marauder action as the devoted Marauders of Slaanesh with Hell Scourges face off against the axe-wielding regular Marauders of Tzeentch, that we are supported by our cultists on their war shrines, and the enemy very much not. We also have Kairos healing and popping off those shields of thorns. Oh, this is a regular shield of thorns, probably cast by the blue scribes rather than Kairos. Really got to get the blue scribes leveled up so that they can go off and essentially lead their own army, which absolutely remains the plan. Their main issue is that they don't have passives, unlike Kairos, so in his own army it's always better to have Kairos casting because he just activates a billion passives at once, whereas the Blue Scribes only useful for their spell. Occasionally they're, occasionally, yeah, and they will have a spell that's still really useful that Kairos currently doesn't have access to, because, well, they have all the spells, like the Sin's Wild form here. Plus 80 armor, really nice on those Marauders, since their show here, to try to get them all that XP. Anyway, the enemy continues to move on in, but we have a pretty good position with our entire left flank protected by the cliffside, and while the enemy keeps on charging in, we keep holding them off. And we're not even doing any crazy big spells to kill off a billion of the enemy units with Kairos here, just to allow those Marauders to fight. They've been with us since the very start, and it is only appropriate for them to actually get trained up into Chaos Warriors. Kairos still having fun in the midst of the enemy, and still has his barrier. Yeah, working on that invincibility. I'm really curious to see if it's possible. I don't remember Kairos being invincible last time I played him, but he might not have had as many replenishments and stuff at that time. Rate and delay. Or maybe I just didn't bother to stack it at that time because he already felt so strong. But, well, we're going to do it here. Alrighty, and with that, the balance power shifts 100% in our favor. The enemy completely fails to breach our lines, and the Slaaneshi are done for. There we go. And let's see, well, the XP is looking pretty okay. There's probably some post-battle XP that will be acquired as well. I see at least one rank 5, which is a new Chaos Warrior for Aircold. Beautiful. Anyway, we'll do a little bit of chasing, although technically we don't need to, just for fun, but off-screen. Alrighty, there we go, no problem at all, and we got 3 of our Marauders up to rank 5, and you... it says rank 5, but I'm pretty sure it's showing rank 4, is it not? Am I crazy? 5 and 5, but these are different chevrons. What's going on here, game? Yeah, alrighty, we'll see in a second. Either way, Loish's indulgence is done. Indulge no more. Alright, Potion of Farsight, mission successful, USAC, blah 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 blah, everybody. Oh, they did all reach rank 5. Well, isn't that fantastic? We're gonna take all of y'all, and we're gonna take you up to Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with halberds, ready to go. And we're at 8 out of 8, meaning as soon as we end the turn, Mr. Cold Hellbrass will be on field, and it also means we can peel away the Chaos Warriors army to do their own thing now, rather than stick around with Kairos, who, as we saw, will just kill everybody himself. Ooh, and I guess we can name our first of the Chaos Warriors while we're here. You will be the Crystal Guard, much cooler than the Mirror Guard. Anyway, you guys are good, and we could probably name a few of the Pink Horrors in here, and Blue Horrors, since they're going to be in the Horror army. Let's see, Errant Thoughts. If we get some Demonettes, we could have Errant Thoughts. Anyway, Existential horrors. And then you... Wait, you're a pink horror. You two are blue horrors. I mean, technically, we should probably upgrade you to pink horrors, but we could also just keep you as blue horrors. I mean, I want this army to be cavalcade of horrors, so yeah. Alrighty, you can be cackling counterparts. Good job surviving this long, incidentally. I've been, let's say, not super trying to keep you safe, and then Chaos Smurfs. For you, might do a couple more blue horrors. Technically, the Sour Guts are also blue horrors, aren't they? Well, anyway, the rest of you are good. You guys can't move, at least not right now. We spent almost all of our money. Let's end the turn. Let's get a cold Hellbrass. I'm curious as to how his skill tree looks like in SFO. Well, let's find out. All right. Oh, don't tell me there's another way. Oh, you get a quest battle for this? Oh, that's lovely. I did not know that, but I am happy about it. Beastman. Huh. All right. Let's give this a read. Having reached the ancient monolith deep in the wastes, the Great Knight stands on the cusp of learning the truth and completing the path seemingly laid before him. But for one final, insurmountable trial, in one-to-one combat, the warrior is more than a match for the monolith's Doombull Guardian, but the sheer numbers in the beast's war herd make the knight's survival nigh on impossible. Tzeentch's plans may be unknowable, yet your gaze has been drawn to this champion deliberately. It is time to play your part. Alrighty, well, I was going to call this episode, but I feel like it would be too much of a tease to do so before unlocking Haircold, so I think we'll do so. Ooh, Demon Magic. I'm gonna say Ice Magic would be really nice as well. I'm gonna say Demon Magic. Alrighty, and then Kairos is leveled up as well. Let's get him... Iridescent Scriveners. It is hero recruit rank faction-wide for iridescent horrors, and we're about to get a bunch of them, so... Or at least as many as we can. The rest of you... Do you actually need levels right now? We could get a little bit of upkeep reduction, max out increased mobility, and then you are already maxed out increased mobility, and you have Retinue Physician. We could go through Plunder the Feeble, though at this point it's not as useful as it once was, and neither is Profit Experience Gain. Magic item drop chance is always nice, however, and admittedly it is always also nice to go to Arcane Conduit. You know, let's get Magical Reserves at least. And I'll see about the other stuff. What about you two? You have Locus of Transmog maxed out. We should probably get you We Are the Elite at the very least. And then you are going... Oh, did I get you Tzeentch's Many Glories? I did. And you have Chosen of Tzeentch as well. Yeah, might as well go through We Are the Elite. It's not like you're really casting... nobody but Kairos is really casting all that much in Kairos' army. Oh, wow, we can actually reach this. The only problem is I want Jiao Ming's defeat trait on probably not Kairos. Although, out of curiosity, what is the armor level on a standard Lord of Change? Just out of curiosity. 30? That's actually fairly low. Huh, maybe we could use Jiao Ming's defeat trait on Kairos. Go figure. I mean, it probably would be more useful on these guys, but I'd wager that he'd come back before that. The only other issue is this. Or, you know what? We could take Dregra and take this army and use her to conquer some stuff, rather than allowing these guys to take it over. Because I'm thinking we should probably keep Crossroads of the World, A, because it allows us to get to cultist camps, and B, because it enables us to travel elsewhere. And I've definitely been enjoying all of the sort of paths to elsewhere that we've been getting in this campaign, like we got out of the realm of Tzeentch, and we will soon have out of the realm of Nurgle, Khorne, and, well, not Khorne, because that's where we started, Nurgle and Slaanesh as well. Oh, you're raiding this rather than attacking it? Did you sack it maybe? Yeah, they sacked it, but I'm willing to bet we can't reach it ourselves in one turn anyway. Well, try to approach, and I immediately distracted myself from whatever it was I was supposed to be doing. But anyway, you are going to head into the Temple of Mordig. Yeah. Like so. You are going to transfer to him to the spawn of Tzeentch. And I will continue hoping... Oh, you know what? Wait. You guys combine. Combine. There we go. Ugh, I wish I would distribute evenly instead of doing it that way. Ugh. Alrighty, let's put you two in... wait, we don't have room for you, do we? Oh, right, I was gonna... Yeah, alright, never mind. I guess we're gonna delete you anyway. Alright, fair enough. You know what? Nah, we need whalers. The basic versions unbuffed by anything aren't worth keeping, essentially. Arvex Balefire. You are going to instead get a giant. Not from these guys, but from the Tong. Right? No. From the Kuj. Wait, it's 96 now. It used to be... A moment. We can fix that. Oh, wait, no, we can't, because we're going to borrow you, and we're going to take all of the allegiance. Oh, it is what it is. We have to borrow you anyway. Alright, go here. Dregra. Alrighty. I still really think that... Kairos' army might become invincible due to the barrier, meaning he might not need this to feature it. And where the jamming might run if we try one of these guys down there, though. Maybe we risk it. Maybe we go down there and see what happens. So go here. And go here. And Kairos, well, you would be able to reach them. Oh. Can you reach them in camp stance? No, I should have gone down here instead. Now you're gonna have to waste your mana. Fortunately, you get it back. Oh, actually, no, I can't. Ah, screwed that up. Okay, well, go here then. You might be able to raid. Let's find out. And hope that this guy doesn't move. And you can raid. Beautiful. At least this way you won't suffer attrition. Next turn, you transfer the Chaos Warriors, and oh! I got so excited about this, I forgot about the quest battle. Well, we could do it right now, but the damage that we take... Actually, the damage that we take might force these guys to attack us. Huh. You know what? That's still a good idea. Let's see. I just started doing stuff with the new turn. Tale of the True Path. Teleport. Let's see what we got here. Piles and piles of greenskins. Beastmen. I don't think it'll be any kind of issue. A Cold Hellbrass is on field, and Kairos can probably take all of this himself. Go. A Cold Hellbrass, the once great knight of the Brethren of the Golden Eagle, is on path to chaos, though whether it is his choice to follow this path or Tzeentch who has set him upon it is known only to the Master of Fate himself. One final step remains to complete his journey, monstrous odds stacked against him that must be overcome. Your warriors of Tzeentch rally around this unlikely hero, but it will surely be strength or something.
This battle was long prophesied. Our fates bound together.
Alrighty, I was expecting a speech there from either A-Cold or, well, I guess it wouldn't be Kairos from A-Cold, but I guess we're not going to get one. Anyway, here we go. Got a pretty interesting battle ahead of us. Essentially, the enemy army is split into two. The enemy Doombull that is facing off against Hellbrass, who's level 1 here. I guess he just got Chaosified. Is leading the bigger portion of the enemy army with more Minotaurs and Gorbulls and whatever, Bulgors, whereas our portion of the army has a lot less of those. In fact, it has none of those, but it has a bunch of giant units, a Gorgon and a couple of Beastmen giants, and a Cygor as well. Either way, we're going to leave Kairos here for at least a little bit of time while we take position and get ready to fight the enemy, while A-Cold will get the support of the Blue Scribes, buffing up his units until Kairos is ready to move down here and help out. And by help out, I mostly mean support Cold and his army with some stuff. Alrighty, you're gonna be on our team rather soon, sir. And we'll send you against a few enemies shortly. Anyway, here we go. The enemies, well, both stacks, I guess, have arrived. The Gorgon's starting to take fire from our units and losing about half of his HP rather rapidly. We do still have the Chaos Warriors in this army that we are going to gift to a Cold Hellbrass, and they're going to move on in, and they should be able to send those Ungors, well, Gors and Ungors alike, packing. It'll be the Giants and the Gorgon that are going to be the issue here, though maybe not so much the Gorgon as it is nearly done for. Actually, very nice to see Gorgons on the field at all, because the AI Beastmen don't tend to build their elite units. You never see Jabberslates, you never see Gorgons, you never see Bulgors, I don't think. But maybe in Old World, who knows? And that's why I remain super salty that the Skaven wiped out Malagor. Well, I guess less salty because he betrayed us and refused to join a fight, and therefore was not going to be too useful anyway. I guess what I should have tried to do was vassalize him early. Hopefully we can get Kazrak, though. From what I recall, Kazrak did very well last time. Anyway, looks like we've pretty much won on our side of the battle here. The Giant and the Gorgon are the only things that remain, or Giants, and they'll just get focused down by all of our range fire. Over on this side, the enemy Doombull is still being faced off against by Aecold here. And though Aecold did take some damage, we simply healed him up and keep healing up the rest of his army. Recovery on him, Shield of Thorns, and whatever else we need on the rest of our units. I mean, I guess in theory we could give Kairos Earthblood as well if we really wanted to, but I think he'll be fine without it. Recovery should suffice. Although he could very well spam Earthblood if we were to lose. I think we'd have to lose Blue Fires for Earthblood, though, and we can't lose Blue Fires. It's too good of a spell when used by flying, especially Tzeentch units. Less useful on the ground, but useful nonetheless. Anyway, those Chaos Warriors still remain and hold off those Minotaurs and Gors and Ungors alike, but not for much longer, I'd wager. The enemy Lord has at this point been heavily damaged by Soul of... and down he goes. I think that was the last hit from the Blue Scribes. Nice job. Alrighty, only a little bit more work left, but it looks like the enemy is pretty much broken. The tide of Chaos Warriors brought by Aecold has managed to hold the enemy off, though it's a lot easier when you've got magical support from both Kairos and the Blue Scribes, you gotta admit. And of course we did move our Flamers in here to help. They weren't going to help against the Giants and stuff anymore because well, that would have meant killing off our own troops, and there was no need to do so. Anyway, there we go. With that, rather quickly, the two enemy Beastmen armies will break. The battle is ours, and so is a Cold Hellbrass. Alright, there we go. Damage relatively minimal, and while we could heal to full, there's no need to do so. Hellbrass had plenty of Chaos Warriors with him, and well, only the presence of Kairos was necessary to both keep them alive and keep Hellbrass alive, with heals and with buffs and whatnot. Lovely. Kairos himself, 546 kills and 65,000 damage, and of course everybody else paled in comparison, though the Knights of the Tome continue to do quite well. And I might transfer them to Hellbrass. It's not like we really need them in Kairos' army, but no more than we really need anything in Kairos' army. Anyway, with that... what do we have here? Revelations of Grit, immunity to psychology, all characters faction-wide. Ooh, that would be nice. And Charge Reflection versus Revelation of Skill. Unit experience gain plus 50% for Marauders, Tzeentch and Chaos Warriors. Gotta get the additional unit XP for the Marauders. I do like this, but I think this is better. Alright, let's see. Aecold Hellbrass approaches the Great Monolith, taking in all the power of its runes and incantations. However, he also spots something else, a carving of a Templar with a rampant griffin upon his shield, an ancient image of a young Aecold himself, etched thousands of years prior. With confused anguish, Aecold travels further north into the wastes, until he encounters a portal atop a long flight of steps. As he reaches the top, he sees the image of himself once more. Yet, this time, time, it steps out to destroy him. Both men strike, the young Templar's sword slicing through Aecold's armor and into his ribs. Aecold's sword, however, takes the Templar's head from his shoulders, squashing the final vestiges of humanity within Aecold's own soul. Aecold's talent joins you and brings with him the monument's arcane knowledge of martial skill. Lovely. And another Tzeentch mutant. And a Tzeentch zealot as well for Mascar's the Infinite. Aecold Hellbrass recruited. Bleeding profusely from his doppelganger-inflicted wound, Aecold stumbles into the mirror portal. When he finally stepped back into the world, he was not only healed, but forever changed. He turned to face the mirror portal once more to see two eyes, glittering like multifaceted gems and burning with inner balefires staring back at him, his armor pulsating with twisting runes that glowed in the flickering darkness. Aecold lifted his sword in a challenge to humanity and all the things he had once held dear. Aecold, son of Graf of the Reichland, is gone. A new champion of Tzeentch is born. Now, if I can only click him, that would be swell. It would be swelly, in fact. Please, sir. I know you're... Iris is like a mother hen with Aecold under his wings. Alrighty, so he starts with a couple of items. The Windblade giving us a Tzeentch corruption and the Windblade ability with a magic missile, and then of course he has the Breath of Life, which is the self-ally passive heal. Pretty solid. Melee defense, physical resistance, good stuff. Life Amok also gives casualty or punishment of armies in region regardless of ownership. Interesting. Wins a magic cost reduction for Lore of Life spells, armies in region regardless of ownership. Huh. That's funny. If we were to run him with Kairos for a while, we would get the benefit of a massive amount of a reduction in the Winds of Lore of Life spells, which would actually make Lore of Life cheaper than Lore of Tzeentch for Kairos, which is kind of neat. Reed and Thorns for Chaos Knight and Doom Knight units, eh? That's real nice. I'm thinking the... that's a real nice passive. The Knights of the Tome would be pretty happy about that. Causes terror when fighting against Empire. Huh. That's interesting. It's making me think if we keep him with Kairos, we could teleport to the Empire and then let him get into the Empire. Battle Healing Cap, Blade Soul enables Windstruck Contact effect for him personally. But other than Thorn Shroud Brethren, which is a big buff to Chaos Warriors, or Chaos Knights rather, he doesn't actually seem to buff them in any other way. I thought that considering he had Chaos Warriors with him, he would also buff them. Frenzy when fighting against Empire, but only for him, not for his army. So it's kind of meh. Speed increase for the Chaos Warriors is quite nice. Figure loss is always nice, especially in SFO, though. Yeah, he's got some pretty darn decent stuff, but it's the sort of aura heal that he has that's the real big deal, the Breath of Life. Effect range is actually relatively small, so he has to sort of travel along the front line, eh? Interesting. And he has another melee damage reflection, so we could combine Thorn's aura with Thorn Shroud Brethren and then with Shield of Thorns to get like just an absolutely ludicrous amount of melee damage reflection, eh? That would be neat. Anyway, for now, Kairos, you're gonna go into raiding stance. Okay, we'll have to think about who to give Jiaming's defeat trait to. Either way, with that, now we're out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we will declare war on Jiaming and probably wipe him out pretty much within the episode, with Dregra being borrowed and helping out. This should be really quick, and then we might move down to Thorak. We don't really care for his territory, most likely. This one's not bad, it has at least 2. It's not as good as the Ogre territories, though. We'll have to see. And then, are you... Okay, you're not rank 5 yet. If you're wondering why I'm still waiting to get the Chaos Dwarfs on our team, I'd really like them to hit rank 5 in Uzkalak, or tier 5. Maybe tier 4 will do. But the more units we can get out of them, the better. I wonder how well the other Chaos Dwarfs are doing. In some of the campaigns, I've had Zatan get obliterated, but in other ones, he does quite well, so I guess it remains to be seen. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we deal with Jiao Ming, so fight some Cathians, continue on our way through these guys' territories, and, well, I think we've got enough money to get a new army up and running, although I guess that means splitting off those armies that we currently are in possession of, so that does make sense. Anyway, more Kairos to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.